Hi guys, so today we have a special guest. It's my dad and we're going to be making steak. So,
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make steak, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Let's open that up.
we are going to be making a ribeye steak. It's not my favorite steak. Porterhouse is my favorite steak. But the butcher didn't have porterhouse steak today, so we went with the ribeye. Okay, so first thing about a steak is choosing a good steak. So I got a thick cut ribeye, okay, that's dry aged 21 days. That makes a big difference, and it has to be a choice cut. Okay, so a little bit more expensive, but if you don't eat red meat too much and you don't eat steak too much, it's well worth the extra money because it tastes way better.
Yep.
Okay, and it's way more tender. So this is dry aged 21 days. Okay, so very simple. Don't have to add too much to a steak. Okay, all I add is a little bit of salt. Okay, and when I add the salt, yep. So when I add the salt, I just slightly add it. There's a pretty big thick cut, like 2 inches thick, so you have to be pretty generous with it, okay?
It looks like snow is falling on it.
That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like snow covering the ground, so it's nice and even. And since it's a nice thick cut, you can be kind of generous. You could put some on the sides too.
Oh my.
Okay.
The snow is falling everywhere.
Mm-hmm. On the sides. And the other thing about steaks is I like to have the bone in the steak. So this particular steak, usually a ribeye, has the bone coming this way. For some reason, they cut this bone with it transverse, like a transverse cut. So the bone was coming this way. But that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Still get good flavor, as long as it has the bone in it.
And then
Second one is just a little bit of black pepper. Okay.
Oh.
Same thing. Again, it's a pretty thick cut of steak, so you can be fairly generous. Okay. Does that look good?
Mm-hmm. It smells salty.
Mm-hmm. And then I like to put just a little bit of garlic salt too. Not too much, but just a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like the snow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you turn it around.
And then we add some of this.
Oh, by the way, before you do this, you always wash your hands before you prepare food. Okay? Alright, so then you do the same thing to the other side.
Wait.
You can use kosher salt too, but regular salt's fine.
Yeah. And then
Again, so it's a 2-inch thick cut, so you can be a little more generous with the salt.
another piece of black pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Another little
Black
pinch of
pepper.
black pepper.
Okay, and then a little bit of garlic salt. And that's it. That's all we're going to put on the steak.
What about this one?
Hmm?
What about this
Oh,
one?
we don't need that one.
And why'd you take it out?
I don't even know why I took it out. That's all we need, and that's it. And then all you do is you wrap that guy up, and you can let it sit for a steak that's cut this thick. You can let it sit for a good hour, probably a little closer to 2 hours, but we'll let it sit for about an hour, hour and a half, and that should be fine. Okay?
An hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. Just wrap it back up.
2 hours would be a long time.
Now, you let it sit so that the salt and the flavors start to seep into the meat. Okay. So we'll let that sit. And in about an hour, we'll take it out so it can warm up a little bit, not be so cold. And that's the prep time.